So nurturing leads, how can we do this? Now, again, bear in mind, we're in the first introduction module of this course, so we've just got to get some groundwork done. Okay, generating leads is really just the beginning. And in this lesson, we'll explore how to nurture leads to build trust and guide them through the buying journey, essentially. So we can do that a number of ways, and we can just take a look at some of my notes here. So first of all, obviously, we're going to need to build trust and build relationships. That's kind of a really necessary part of the sales process. You know, people are not going to do business with you unless they trust you. So we need to figure out a way to ensure that our communication is consistent. We follow up promptly after capturing a lead. We use personalized email sequences to maintain engagement. We can also choose to use educational content. Obviously, this is educational content. We can provide valuable content that addresses their pain points and questions. I mean, obviously, anybody in this course right now is considering the idea of how they can generate leads for their businesses. And the pain points are listed very clearly, and they're all in my actual campaign that got you into this course. So that's what we're going to do, and that's what you're going to learn how to do for your business as well. And these kind of include example blog posts or webinars or how-to guides. And again, these are all fairly general. I mean, mainstream, everybody more or less knows about this. I'm going to focus during this course on helping you to launch a campaign, a lead generation campaign, without all of the fluff. So literally like minimum viable product. In other words, what can we do to launch an ad that's going to be highly effective, that's going to attract leads, that are then going to be going into our system where they can be nurtured, they get the consistent follow-up and prompt responses, and they'll get some value from engaging with us in the simplest, leanest way possible. Okay, so these are ideas that we can also keep in mind as we continue to work on developing our digital marketing strategies and presence in general. Okay, but the idea is not to go now and start thinking about, oh, what kind of blog post can I write? We don't need a blog. You don't need blog posts. Okay, these are simply ideas of how lead generation normally works. So obviously, it's very important that we provide value through content. That means that we don't just get on our WhatsApp and start spamming our contacts with special offers. That's the worst thing you can do for your business. We're going to focus on providing valuable content. And the valuable content normally can be in the ad itself. That's one of the key secrets. So take a note of that. Okay. So even the ad that we launch in our lead generation campaign, they're not going to be like promo ads, not necessarily, possibly. But generally speaking, we're going to focus on providing value within our advertisements. So we're not going to need that many blog posts or any blog posts. We may not even need a video, infographics. All this good stuff is great, but it's not really necessary. Content strategy, map content to different stages of the buyer's journey. Now, this is very relevant in this context, because essentially what we want to do is we want to understand that when we run paid advertising campaigns, we have different objectives. So we may have a campaign that's focusing on getting more brand awareness. We may have another campaign then that follows up to increase the consideration phase, where people are aware of our brand and they're kind of considering whether or not they should engage with us, or whether they should spend more time, looking at what we have to offer. And then obviously then the next step would be the decision phase. So the content strategy in this example is quite relevant. However, it doesn't mean that we're going to be building out blog posts and all that kind of thing, but we may decide to have 3 different types of ads or 3 different types of campaigns. First is focusing on awareness, second possibly focusing on consideration, and the third maybe on the decision. Generally speaking, I just go straight to the lead, and I launch one campaign and I get leads, and that's what I'm going to teach you how to do. And this is all optional then as you go further. So the other thing then, which is also extremely important, is segmenting your leads. So in other words, we want to understand what kind of demographics we're targeting. We need to understand the behavior, interests, and engagement level of the typical people that are interesting for us as potential clients or customers. And then obviously we're going to align our messaging and our offers based on this. So this is why this paid advertising strategy that I'm going to teach you during this course is so valuable. It's not just about throwing up some ads on Facebook and Instagram and getting people's attention. It's really about making sure that the ad itself is saying, hey, you with that specific issue or problem or objective, watch this and you'll learn something, and you get their attention, you get their credibility, and they start to engage, and then they're in your pipeline. Okay. Now, the automated follow-ups, this is something that we'll talk about during the course a little bit further on. We will be using email drip campaigns, which are automated email sequences to nurture the leads over time. And again, we want to focus as much as possible on adding value, providing something useful instead of just pitching whatever we want to sell. And then we can also go through all sorts of crazy lead scoring, complex things. Well, if he does this, then he gets 2 points. If he does that, he gets 4 points. If he does this, it's 7 points. And if he gets to 10 points, it's like, wow, he's going to be a customer within a week or two. That's not necessary. But the lead scoring is something that we can already integrate in the ad lead generation campaign, in the ad itself. And I'll teach you how to do that. So all very interesting. In the next section, then we're going to be looking at, just very briefly, how we can then convert leads into paying customers, which is a really fun part.